Chelsea, Eliza, come on out. Take a seat wherever you like. Did anyone lose an R2-D2 earring? FYI, we have an R2-D2 earring. Eliza, is this your R2-D2 earring? I know, right? Have you watched the Star Wars, Eliza? Okay. I'm sorry, get out. Have you seen Star Wars? Toss?
Yes.
Okay, the two of you can stay.
We do. We should.
You've got a lot of movies to start watching. Just FYI, they've expanded the franchise a little bit. So, welcome back, ladies.
Hi, everybody.
How y'all doing?
Oh, great.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You got a Red Bull? Oh, and you got your sunglasses. You're ready.
Listen, these are tasks and I just look so cute. I look like a cop. So
You do. You're like a hot cop in leather pants.
Arrest me.
Please.
Please. Now's a good time.
I brought handcuffs.
So a lot of time has obviously passed for all of y'all on the show. And I know that we just had Chris up here, we were talking about, we had a lot of emotional, nice talks about how it all ended. So let's start with you, Chelsea. What did you think when you first got the script, and how do you feel about the ending of your arc?
The script, meaning like the script for When I Die?
Yes.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Maybe you should watch the show.
I am dead. Season 8, I'm starring in the show. I was saying this to my panel. I was actually driving to work, and I got a phone call, and I looked down and it said, Jason Rothberg, and I was like, oh.
Click, no.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, am I becoming the star of the show? Is that why he's calling me? This is amazing. So I answer it, and he's like, you die, bitch. And I'm like, oh no. No, he was like, we have a beautiful ending for Monty and Harper, and you're gonna, oh.
It was.
Yeah. You know what, it doesn't matter. It was so tragic. It was epic. Thank you. So I was like, oh, really? That's interesting. Will you hold on a second? There's something on my other line. And I paused and I was like, ah! I pulled over, I was just like fucking sobbing. And then I came back on line like, okay. How do I die? And he's like, okay. I was like, well, just so you know, I'm driving to set right now. And I start working in a few minutes, so I have to compartmentalize this. And I won't say how much this meant to me, but thank you so much, and I'm gonna go steal all the food from set because you did this. Oh, I said that!
That's where all the food went.
Craft services, Chelsea's house.
I was wondering.
And then I went into the makeup trailer and was just like sobbing. They're like, what's wrong? They're gonna kill me off. And it's a big revelation when you're on the show for 5 years.
But that was part of kind of like being on the 100 was there was
Yeah,
always
it's like, what's
this
gonna happen?
who's next?
Yeah. It's so stressful. It was like every fucking episode you get, I would do that thing where you can just search your character name like in the word, and I would search Harper and then go to the very last Harper and then look for the word dead. Because yeah, I was worried I was dying.
I know, that's how I felt when I was reading the scripts too. I would like turn every page
Yeah,
slowly
oh my
and just be like,
god.
okay, I made it for one more page.
I made it to one more episode.
Next page.
Well, we asked Chris this too. Chelsea, what was your response when you met Shannon Cook, who is basically you two put together? It's unbelievable.
First of all, wouldn't it be weird if I started dating Shannon?
Okay, that's weird.
Yes.
Right? It would be like, yeah, that'd be kind of funny. Actually, Melissa and I have been hanging out with Shannon in Vancouver recently.
Aww.
Yeah, we've been going out, it's fun. I've told you guys this before, but they were like, yeah, then you die, and then you have a son who's your age. I'm like, wait, what? Then that made sense of it. And anyway, I didn't expect to meet him. I didn't know he'd be on set that day, and I was in the makeup trailer, and he walked in. I was like, oh, my son. Those are the first words I said to him. Actually, because I knew, I was looking in the mirror.
My son.
Even my mom, she's like, did I have a kid I don't know about? Yeah.
Because he had your personality, he had Chris's mannerisms, like it's unbelievable.
But like even physically, like my nose, my teeth, yeah, I know.
A hell of a casting job.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, right? Yeah. Anyway, enough about me, let's talk about someone else.
So, Louisa, did you think you'd be, make it all the way to the end? I mean, you're on that beach, your character kicked ass and lived until whatever, we don't know when. What was your response reading the finale?
Oh man, I just was like, I can't believe I made it this far. And when I saw how it all ended for Maury, I was like, are you kidding me? I get to die. I get the ultimate. I get the death scene, and I get the happy ending. Like I literally
I
got.
understand, I never watched the end.
Don't.
Don't spoil it, guys.
No, a lot of people last night at the party said, by the way, I stopped watching after the penultimate episode, after Bellamy died. I didn't watch the finale.
Bellamy dies?
Let's not open this can of worms.
Oh, Chelsea, does anyone have a drink? Are you serious? Shit! Spoiler alert!
Wait until you find out who does it.
We're not gonna tell you how, Liza.
Kills Bellamy? Is it during sex?
That's a fan fiction that did not happen. No. So anyway,
Hold on a second. How does he die?
Clark shoots him because it's a thing, there's a book involved that was left behind, I can't even.
Sorry, Lisa, we're in the middle of your answer, and I was like,
He joined a cult, he danced with some Groot trees, it's a whole thing. Yeah.
probably soon. Oh my god.
Welcome to therapy with Chelsea.
Guys, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Thank you for acknowledging that. Yes, it was,
And
yeah.
I'm so sorry that you died at once.
I died and then I didn't die.
Yeah. But what was it like playing both characters in the final
Am
season?
I gonna get a drink? Am I pouring one out for Bellamy?
Yeah.
It was great. When you say
Well, when you're playing a prime kind of, you know.
yeah. Oh, it was fun. It
That's
was,
where gowns and stuff.
what I was like, what the heck is Maury? Maury's all dressed up. She's
Clean up
like
nicely.
leading people. She doesn't have dirt. Her scars are even looking better.
Even your hand got an upgrade with the
I got a
cover.
fancy glove.
You got a glove.
Yeah, which honestly we would have had the handout all the time
Yeah.
if we could. It was just really not. It was difficult, you know. There was one episode in season 5, I think. I'm shooting an atomic gun, like a gun,
Yeah.
and we actually had blanks in it. So it was shooting, and then you see the footage, and the hands like, like prosthetic, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna. A split second, that's it.
Cut away from that shot.
This hand is gonna ruin shots just because it does weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because it's, you know, it's right. So.
But like Murphy called himself, you know, he's the ultimate cockroach, and in the end, like, you know, you get to be on a beach somewhere together
Chilling.
with your friends.
Chilling, fishing.
Chilling.
Does this show end?
You actually don't want to know.
I think that you're on the beach and then it becomes lost.
Are we having a movie night tonight? I think we might have to
Do
catch
you
her
know how
up for
big that is to go
tomorrow.
back and just like, let's watch ourselves?
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Toss, did you think Echo would make it to the end, and what was your response?
Do you die?
Yes. Absolutely not. Like I said, every page I was like, well, she's a goner.
Yeah.
You know, especially after like the whole Octavia fight, I'm like, oh, rats.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of that. I was like shocked.
Yeah.
And amazed
Yes.
that I made it to the end. That's wild.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good job. Yes, Chelsea, everyone up here sort of lives. Yeah. Like, there's a whole, like, we'll do a therapy session later on that.
You guys ruined it. I'm gonna watch Riverdale.
Right. So, Eliza, we have to talk about Josephine. What, after playing Clark for so long, what was it like to play Clark, but play in a different, you know, a different person entirely?
It was awesome. I had so much fun. Like when I got the call, I don't know like about you guys, but you know, there kind of comes a point after like 5 years or 6 where you're like, I don't know how to like, how is she going to grow? How am I going to evolve this character? And then I get told that I'm going to be playing a completely different character, but in Clark's body, and I was like, yep, that sounds pretty cool. So it just made everything fresh again, and I got really excited about being, you know, like, and at one point I think I was playing, okay, hang on, playing Josephine, pretending to be Clark, pretending to be Josephine.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh man. It was so weird because we shoot out of order, obviously, each episode. So like sometimes I had to really study and be like, which one am I and who am I pretending to be as them as the other. It was crazy, but I loved it.
Yeah. Did you and Sarah work together at all on mannerisms?
We did, because Sarah started it with the flashbacks, and then I took over, I think, and then when we came back together again, I'd been playing Josephine more than her, so she was copying me. It was a whole, like, it was really, like a really creative and fun process, though.
It was really beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
it was a trip.
Being backstage. I'd be at work sometimes and like watching you guys interact and like tease out those moments and like it was so awesome. Like it was just looked so creative, so much fun. I was like, I'm just gonna pull up some popcorn. I'm just gonna hang out for a while. Yeah, it was awesome. It was such a good job.
Thank you.
I think my favorite moment was when you were Clark pretending to be Josephine and you had to see your mom, who was actually someone else.
Yeah.
And I saw your face have to process that. And I was like, oh
I didn't that right.
Because Richard and I were just off to the side, be like, watching everything go down in our head.
But you had to do this as well, you know?
Yeah, not to the same extent. We're like locked out of the room. We're like,
I just thought, yeah, it was really fun. It was a really fun experiment for a while.
And you got to be clean and wear dresses.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah, where's the Clark,
The orange dress.
orange dress? Did she
upstairs.
wear?
She's upstairs.
She's upstairs. All right. Well, she looks amazing.
Yeah.
Pass that on.
Kaylee Prime is right there.
Kaylee Prime, stand up, let's see. Nice. I love it. Chelsea, did you watch that season, or?
Listen,
Okay.
I've been holding back this comment, but I'm just gonna say it now that you. I think it might
The
be-
door is open.
I saw those photos of you in the dress, and I was like, those tits are moving. This was so long, Clark was being hated. Comment.
Thanks.
So yes, I did see that, and I've seen the scenes, and I've seen the scenes.
That means a lot.
No comment. Of all of your seasons, each of you each had various wardrobes. Is there a certain favorite wardrobe you had in all of your seasons?
Eliza's dress.
Okay. Get down, girl. I'm talking about yours.
I loved my season 1 get-up just because.
The Henley.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I got to put it back on for flashbacks over the years. And it was always a bit of a like, is it still gonna fit? And it did, and I've gotten to keep it. Like I have it now. And
Oh.
I love it so much.
Nice. Anyone else outfit-wise?
I liked the gauze.
The Mount Weather bikini?
I was kind of like being at the beach, but you're in Mount Weather being at the beach.
Wasn't Bob strung upside down in a basically a gauze?
That was the first day I met him. He was up and I was like, hi, nice to meet ya.
Some gauze briefs happening?
How are things going? And then I started him.
But Charles, did you have an outfit that you preferred?
Honestly, my fake butt.
Your Mount Weather?
Bone marrow, yeah.
Yeah.
They gave me a, like I had to just like you go for a cast, they just like poured it on my butt. I'm not joking. And then they made a fake cast, and made a fake butt, and I had to put on so they could drill it so it would bleed on camera. But they made it look so beautiful and real, like all these freckles. But I was like, my butt is cuter than that. I don't have butt freckles. Please remove them. But they did not. Anyway, yeah.
Was that more comfortable than the fake baby, the pregnancy?
The butt was more fun.
More fun, okay.
That's not quote that sentence.
Okay. No favorite?
I think my favorite was my first intro wardrobe.
In the desert?
In the desert, because it was so elaborate.
Totally nomadic.
so nomadic.
Yeah.
But man, it took me like 10 minutes to get everything on. Like between the hand, the glove, I had pants, and then I had shoes, and then I had things that went over the shoes, and then I had like 3 different shirts in layers, and a corset, and then a thing over that, and then a hat or a head wrap, and like a choker, earrings. By the time, and they're like, where the heck is this new girl who's supposed to be here? She's been in hair makeup for 3 hours. What the
And
heck's
as soon
going
as you
on?
get to set, you're like, I have to go pee.
All right, we're gonna hold for 20 minutes. And I had, once I got the hand on, going to the bathroom was really interesting. Very difficult.
I bet.
It was not easy.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to monitor your water.
Yeah, I mean, the guys had a lot easier. Most of the guys' outfits throughout all 7 seasons were basically pants and jackets.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah. Although Raven had a jacket and pants most of the time, too.
Yeah, that's true. Then
Yeah.
she had the brace.
She did have a brace, which is a whole nother challenge.
Whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Louisa, what was it like working with Richard Harmon for all those seasons?
It was wonderful. Well, obviously everybody knows the answer to that.
Yes.
He's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Yeah.
We figured out how each other like to work, and we totally held space for us to both be creative, and he's very gracious, and he's always got his music on it.
I loved watching you guys work together.
Yeah?
Yeah, just behind the scenes, they were so sweet and gentle with each other, and they would just give each other time and space to do the scene the way that they felt was right, and it was just like really unique and special.
Oh,
Yeah, it was special. It felt we felt very fortunate.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
And Chelsea, similar for you, you had so many wonderful and beautiful scenes and the whole lot with Christopher. What was that like?
Honestly, I just singing praises again. I'm sure you guys can sense when you see Chris, but he's just so courteous and gracious and kind and loving and patient.
Yes.
Anything we ever did, it's the equivalent of like him holding the door open for me. It was just, what do you want to do in this scene? How do you feel it should look? How do you feel? And totally amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we have to ask, and by we I mean me, the collective we. You and Bob have been friends for forever, and you obviously, Bellamy and Clark started off in a very different place, and ended in a place we're not going to talk about. But the in between, you know, to see each other grow as actors, and what was your favorite scene of all time filming with Bob?
Oh shit. I mean, my mind immediately goes to Day Trip, the episode where everyone was tripping balls. We had this scene together in the pouring rain at like 3 in the morning, and we didn't know each other very well yet. I mean, we'd known of each other for a long time. We'd been filming together for a little bit, but we weren't like close. And we kind of had to learn each other's process on the fly for a very like serious, emotional scene. And it just came together, and we clicked and just went, oh, I see you. You know, and it was great. And I think, you know, that everyone saw that in, you know, when it came out, they were like, oh, yeah. There's a beautiful friendship there.
Yes.
Maybe something else, I don't know.
Maybe. Spoiler alert, there was. Toss, you did a lot of physical, your role was very physical. Would you say that you were skilled in certain areas coming into the show, or you've learned a lot?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. In fact, when I like was doing like my sword fighting to play like with Rowan and Octavia, I remember there was like a moment where like Marshall, our stunt coordinator, super talented, he just stood there and he looked at me and he did one of these. He was like, and I was like, did the whole thing, and he was like, yeah. It just looks a little awkward. Fuck. No. It's like they give you these big tasks, and like I remember right before they give me a bow and arrow the first time, they're like Brian was like, do you know how to shoot a bow and arrow? And I was like, no. Like who knows how to shoot a bow and arrow? Just like, and it was like 5 minutes before like I had, and he was also like, and also the director is a big like archer. And I was like, great. He's like, so he's very specific about the technique, boom, boom. And I was like, perfect, thanks guys. Anyways, how do you do this? You know what I mean? But then like you kind of like are invigorated with this feeling where you're like, I went home and I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to shoot this bow and arrow like nobody else. You know, and then I do the same with bow staff. Like, all sorts of like crazy. I was like, now I'm in the park with the bow staff. And my neighbors were like, okay, cool. Like, who's that?
She's going through something.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, here's a question for, I know we have a Grounders panel later tomorrow, but so for Imori and Echo, what would their relationship have been with Lexa? I'm curious because you were obviously from different tribes, and I always wondered if like you interacted, what that would have been like.
If they had interacted, that is a good question. I don't know. I mean, I think she would have been extremely apprehensive. I'm sure there's a part, she probably felt conflicting emotions. She probably desperately would have wanted to be accepted, and at the same time, angry and very apprehensive about this person who represents the epitome of everything that stands against her.
Because you were out, you're people who were outcasts,
Yeah.
and you know, maybe the new and improved Lexa, if given the opportunity, would have brought you guys back
Yeah.
into the fold, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. I mean, that's the thing, is like, it's a complicated, like, social world.
Yes.
So, because I wondered this about Indra and all their interactions, like, I wonder what Indra thinks about Amori. And all this time has passed, and if she even cared to begin with, if it was just something that had always been there in the world and people didn't think about, you know, you just don't know.
Indra would have respected your hustle, I think.
Yeah,
you know, absolutely. What do you think about Echo?
I mean, like Echo, like there's something that like with Indra, for instance, I feel like because like later in the seasons, I was like, Indra and Echo are now together in a similar storyline, and that's weird, you know, because they were, you know, as a kid, I was, you know, against your crew in a certain capacity, and yet, but there's still that kind of recognition of like warrior and respect. So yeah. So I think like, and with Lexa, there might have been a similar thing, but it was so much earlier that like, you know, Echo at that time was probably on a mission of sorts, because she was always kind of like, you know, in her spot, you know? And so I think Lexa would have been like apprehensive, and Echo would just be like, I'm just here, like, you know, like having some food and hanging out and like trying to like be under the radar, but Lexa would have, yeah.
And Harper wanted to date her, we know, you've talked about it, yes. I know that you guys probably have a lot of questions for them if you want to line up, and there's a microphone in the middle, take your time. We have about 20 minutes left with the ladies before they have to move on. Yes. Or if you guys have any questions for the audience, help yourself.
I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous, they don't bite. Chelsea does.
Only advice.
Okay, I just have to see your beautiful faces, okay? My name is Rachel, I'm from Western Mass. I just want to congratulate Eliza real quick on her baby boy. I have a question for all of you, disregarding season 7. If you could save one person, who would it be?
Bellamy!
Not season 7 though, not season 7.
Oh, outside of season 7.
Oh,
Oh, outside.
Who would you bring back before season 7?
Harper!
I miss Jasper.
Oh.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I?
You know what? Ha.
I guess the only answer is Harper.
Louisa?
Yeah, Harper.
Who would you bring back other than her?
Pike.
What? That was a controversial answer.
Yeah, Jaha.
Like, at my age, it's just so amazing to work with.
Yeah, and for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
We love him.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Amori.
I just first wanted to say thank you guys because the show really helped me get through being diagnosed with autism and going through self-harm, so thank you guys. And I also wanted to know what was the hardest scene, like either emotionally or physically, for you guys to go through and film?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for sharing that. It's so beautiful. And I'm so glad we could help in some way. It's amazing. And you seem like a very beautiful and brave person. So you are. So did you ask, I was more taken by what you said and not so much the question. The most emotional scene to shoot?
Well, hardest, either
Or hardest.
emotionally or physically.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Physically, the fight that I did with Deechin in season 2.
Where you got a facial with the mud. That way. She gave you the mud facial.
The mud facial. The day we were covered in flies and smelled like rotting eggs. It was a crazy day. And then, on top of that, doing this huge fight scene where I almost smashed her in the head with a real log. I was supposed to pick up a fake log, and I ended up picking up a real one. It was huge. And ended up, very nearly missing her. But she still broke her nose on the show, so. But that was probably the hardest physically, so I'll pass it on.
Okay. The hardest physically. Remember, so first episode, season 4, where Echo, where she grabs Clark by the knife.
Yes.
Physically, it was 100 million degrees Fahrenheit, and I was covered in fur. And I had to do this big speech, and I was like, and I could just feel the sweat dripping down here and going all the way down to my toes. And I was just I'm losing water. And they had to pin bags of ice inside the fur jackets. And then I had 17 belts. So I was trying to drink water because I was losing water, but then I couldn't go pee because it took half an hour to unbelt myself and get to the bathroom. And I just remember being this is what we do. This is glamorous. We're gonna survive. And so that was tough. But emotionally, the scene where Echo tells Bellamy that she killed Octavia by accident, I remember being that was a very intense moment. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, you didn't.
I know.
I think mine physically was in season 4 in Becca's house when I had that huge fight in the kitchen because I just got the crap kicked out of me, and it was super fun, but it was very physical. Yeah, but it was great to shoot. The other thing was the house that we were shooting in was a very, very expensive house, and the floors were tiles of white marble the size of this. Wow. And everyone said, please do not crack the white tile and the white grout. Try to not get blood on the white grout in your fight scene where you're getting slammed on the ground and it's just this whole house. At one point I was, messing around with my knife and it flew out of my hand and dinged the wall. They're we're taking this away from you. You're not allowed anything in this house. This is too expensive. We cannot afford repairs in this house. And it was an emotionally draining day. We had a really intense emotional scene. It was a day. That was a big day. Yeah.
I think my answer is the butt drilling. I need to find a better name for that.
You just like to say butt drilling.
I know. I need to find a better name. The posterior and construction.
Posterior construction.
Yes. I really like to feel the moments that I need to be acting, so I ask them to actually tie me down to the table, keep myself there for a couple hours, and that was pretty intense, both physically and emotionally.
Thank you.
Great question, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. So, if your life was a movie, what songs would be on the soundtrack?
Them or their characters? Yes? Characters. If Clark's life was a movie, what would the soundtrack be? Super uplifting, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Walking on sunshine. Oh God. Living on a prayer. I don't know. I think about it. Sorry, I
Yeah,
always
it's a tough question.
have to think on these ones. I'm gonna pass on. Like some sort of Radiohead, probably. Yeah.
Chelsea. I'm not a fan, and Harper wouldn't be a fan, but for some reason I feel like it's Enya.
Enya narrating Harper's song, okay?
I have two, it would be an evolution for me. She would start at, I can't remember who sings it, but that song, I'm a freak.
Meredith something, it's a one-hit wonder, yeah.
There's a couple, yeah. It started there, and then it would move definitely to a Lizzo song.
Yeah!
Lizzo.
It's about damn time,
Yeah,
that's right. I
In
like
a minute, I'm gonna need to sit in the middle, bump me up. Yeah, I know so.
Excellent, thank you.
Survivor by Beyonce.
There we go. Nice call.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
I got a question for Eliza. Who is your favorite cast member besides Bellamy?
Cast member, like actor, not character? Or, because I can't.
You're on Chelsea.
I won't choose. Don't make me choose.
It's like actor or character.
Or character. Okay. Oh my god, that's still so hard though. I know I just was like, not actors, but now I'm like, not characters.
Is it the dog from season 7?
I love that dog.
Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, probably Maddie. Yeah, we had a love. What was just the sweetest? Oh gosh, she's grown.
She's a model now.
I
Like, lock her in her room. She can't
You go to Laura's Instagram, she's like modeling bikinis in Greece. We're like, what happened to Maddie?
Maybe, I can't believe it.
She transcended to a great place.
She's grown up. Maddie, I mean, the mother-daughter relationship that we got to portray was awesome.
That's cool, because my mom, me and my mom has a mother and son relationship.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm happy to
Yeah.
have that.
Thank you, great question.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Hi. So first off, I just wanted to let all of you know that I watched the show a lot when I was in the hospital with kidney disease. I talked to Eliza about this earlier, but the strength of all your characters helped me a lot through that. So I just wanted to let you know. And then secondly, I wanted to ask you guys if you had any advice as far as getting into the acting industry. I've recently done like extra work on shows and stuff, but I've been trying to move up. So I was wondering if you guys had any advice.
Extra work is a great way to get familiar on set. Also, thanks for sharing what you did. Seriously, I've always felt like this show, it's helpful when you see people suffering and fighting through. It always helps, I think, to sort of follow your own parallel path and find a way through, It's for acting, extra work definitely, student films, you can usually find there's resources online where you can just submit yourself, audition, you don't need an agent, just to get practice. Eventually you're gonna wanna get an agent and take classes, like just find whatever classes are in your area and try some stuff and develop yourself. Find teachers, and it's okay if you don't like a teacher, you can just find another teacher. Keep looking till you find the ones that work with you.
Yeah, that's key. It's like you don't have to, if you go to one class and you don't respond to it, that doesn't mean that you're no good. It just means that that's not necessarily the way you like to do your job. So you can go to as many classes as you like and learn all these different, like we're never fully cooked. Even now, like I know, I still love to attend classes every now and then. It's just a great way to get into it. And you network there as well. You meet so many like-minded people. Some who are like casting agents go to classes a lot. And it's a really, really great tool and resource. Yes.
Thank you for sharing what you did. And as I said today, in terms of you becoming an actor, don't fucking do it. But truly, it is grueling emotionally. It is incredibly difficult. So congratulations for choosing an incredibly difficult path and following it. I think the key, as you said, is networking. I actually got my first credit in the union from background work. I got upgraded, so you never know what's going to happen there. Background work, I think, is key, and you learn so much, and there's so much food, so it's really great.
Crafty.
But also, like, it's one of those things where if you get satiated and if you get, like, invigorated by the art that you pick, like, which is for me, because, like, the hours are grueling, the rejection from auditioning is tough. There's so much to take on, and you feel very vulnerable because you're showing yourself, you know, and but if it fuels you, if you get really excited about, like, how am I gonna do this character? Like, what's her thing? You know, like, that will keep you afloat, but, like, it comes from that deep love of, like, for me, the curiosity about the characters and their stories, that's what keeps me from being like,
Yeah. Best of luck. We're here to mentor or advise if we can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Luke. My question was just what, not just like romantic relationships, but what relationships, like, with your characters did you guys think were some of the, like, most important ones in the show? Like, the relationships developed between you guys as characters.
Go right ahead.
Aside from definitely, obviously, John Murphy, clearly, I always thought that even though a lot of this was not shown, I thought that Imori and Monty, Imori and Bellamy, and we did see some of this, but Imori and Raven, because I thought that those were the three on the ring who showed her skills, showed her how to lead, helped her gain what she saw as value in herself, what she could contribute to the group, because she was a very curious individual who was always looking to better herself, and they were the ones who taught her, either by sitting her down and being like, learn this, or just her watching them. And like, I always thought she looked at Bellamy as like, she saw how to lead by watching him probably when they were up there. So those, even though we didn't see it, I think that they helped form her when she changed.
I do have an answer. I think Clark's relationship with her father really shaped who she was and how she was able to adapt to being on the ground and to be as resourceful as she was. And we didn't get to see much of it. You get to see just the smallest snippets, but that was like, he was her hero. And yeah, so I think that's a very important relationship.
I mean, I think for Echo, like, when she went from, like, you know, just being a tool in As Get Out, where she had, her only value was to make sure that she did her job, and that, you know, Queen Naya, you know, she survived by being a ruthless killer. So she didn't trust anybody. She didn't, you know, and that's a very dark place to be in. And so when she met everybody that went up to Space Crew, after, when she, like, just suddenly, like, ended up in outer space. I was like, that's a sharp turn. You know, just
I
like,
read that
whoa.
script, I was like, how is she gonna act that?
What's a microwave? Like, you know, what's going on? But just seeing how everybody interacted up there, and Raven and Bellamy and everybody and Murphy, that is huge for her, because she got to see a family dynamic in a certain capacity where, like, people cared about each other and loved each other beyond just, like, you know, what you're useful for. It was, so that I found really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's like you did last question.
Hi. All right, question for Tasia, Eliza, and Louisa. No offense, Chelsea. It's about the finale. So, your three characters end up on the beach with, you know, the other 10 or 11. Do you ever think about what happens with your characters, whether it's 2 weeks down the line or 5 years down the line, and if so, what comes to mind?
Like when we were on the beach?
Yeah, like what happens after, like what happens, you know, like a year later is like.
Moonshine comes back into fashion.
Yes,
Exactly.
Somehow.
Speaking of fashion, runway shows.
Oh,
Why not?
This is the latest,
Coconut.
I think people probably fell into their roles. You know what I mean? Like when we were there, you know, the set, like we had like I don't know, we were like people were like fashioning things. Like I remember like Jess and like, was it Jared? Like they were like carrying like a big piece of wood across the set. We were like
building a shelter.
yeah, they were
It's like
making a
Survivor.
shelter. And I was doing some rope kind of thing, and I was like, look at me making a house. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet we would have we probably would have set up a great shop, had a great, you know, thing going, and then after we'd be like, I'm bored. You guys want to go on an adventure? Yeah, sure. Let's burn it all down and go into the wilderness and see what kind of mischief we can
We've
get.
never done that before.
It's been like 3 weeks without near death.
Murphy would have a bar.
Yeah. But who was the fisherman? Who went out and got everyone fresh fish?
I would be, I think I don't know.
You'd spear
I had
them.
a pretty good shot.
You could spear them.
Yeah, exactly.
I was definitely, and I was even fishing on, I don't even think you can see me, but I was literally fishing in the finale there. I was down by the water, like with a rod or something, with some contraption.
Right.
I'm sure she had a boat. Like, you know, she was
Resourceful. AF, as the kids would say. Yes. Thank you.
She uses her hands to snap the fish.
Yeah, she got it. She got it.
Thank you.
Mark would need to find a lever.
No, she needs a cocktail.
She's done with levers. She swore off levers.
Talk about the levers.
Hi, can I ask, what, if there was a favorite scene you had that you weren't in, if you had a favorite, can I
A
ask?
scene you weren't in that you liked?
I got it. When Murphy's going bonkers.
Oh yeah. In the bunker.
Yeah, bonkers in the bunker. It was so delicious to watch.
He had dreadlocks.
Yeah, it was so fun and layered, and I feel claustrophobic watching it, so I knew it affected me. It was fun.
In season 2, I think it was, when Raven had just got her brace and she was so determined, and she was trying to climb that radio tower or something, and she just couldn't do it. I don't know what, it's something about that like broke me. I just was so sad. It made me so sad. Like I started crying and
Then you went on, you and Raven, you Raven, you and Lindsay both had such great representation for differently abled people.
Yeah.
And your characters meant so much to so many people and still do, obviously. So it's interesting that like you went on to play someone that also had a similar effect.
yeah, we understand, our characters understood each other.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Which is probably why they bonded so much.
100%.
I would like to be where Murphy was chained by.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Speaking of that, how funny that Richard and Rhiannon are now together. By the way, Richard couldn't be here because he's at a wedding, and I was like, are you at your wedding? Is this going to be another 100 surprise? He's like, no, but you can pretend it is.
Okay, so in season 1, I don't know if you guys remember this, but so when everyone was sacrificing themselves on the ark, and the father with his daughter. Oh my God, that guy was.
I totally forgot.
The little culling? Are you talking about the culling?
The culling. Yeah. Oh, is it the culling? Yeah. Right.
Do you remember how many people died in the culling? That's a trivia question.
48.
320. Not 48.
It was all Bellamy's fault.
I forgot about the culling. That's crazy.
There's a lot you forgot, Chels.
Oh, I forgot to say
Yes.
the radio.
Thank you, that was a great question. Hello.
Hi. So I've watched the show like 13 plus times. I didn't watch it again after like season 7. I have not repeated that season.
Nobody dies.
I screamed at my TV and my mother doesn't understand why. So gosh, there's so many. But, so Amori and Echo became Nightbloods in the end. Was there a reason behind that besides the chips? Because that became non-existent in the end.
Yeah.
Like, was there supposed to be a deeper story behind that got changed? Or?
Louisa, do you want to take this one?
I mean, you don't have to answer.
No, I mean, I think that they were beginning to tease out a story there, and I don't know that it ever got, it ever paid off in the end. You know, there was like a lot, like those, you know, because there's so many characters and so many things happening that, you know, there's like these little seedlings that are planted, and some of them evolve into, you know, full stories, and some of them don't. But do you remember what that was?
I can't remember exactly. I know what, I mean, that was tied in with the whole, like, the royalty and sanctum,
Yes.
and it was sort of a big part of the body snatching. And I mean, I think it was, for us anyway, it was like a turn back to our survivalism. Like, Murphy and Amori were starting to, you know, maybe feel like they had to take care of themselves a little bit. So there was just a bit of character regression for a minute there. I agree, though. I think there was a lot of elements to it, and I think they sort of paid that off as much as they were able to, while still honoring a lot of the other storylines that were going on.
So, my other question, sorry. What happened to Harbor and Monty's bodies? Did they float themselves afterwards?
All the time.
It's not about your butt this time. It's not about your butt.
Fucking weirdos. What happened to the corpse? Yeah. Here's the thing. We don't even know why Harper died.
Well, it was her father's genetic disease.
Well, yeah, we don't know what it was. Listen, I have my own story for what I think it is, but we don't even know.
Old age.
Pardon me?
Old age.
Oh, wouldn't that be sweet? I think Monty believes in following the rules, and he finds comfort within the lines, and so I think he would have followed the rules and given her a beautiful ship off to space.
Dress her nice and
Yeah.
out the door.
Kiss her forehead goodbye.
Yeah.
That's sweet. You had a sweet answer. Good job.
You guys are such like a sci-fi fan base. We're like, oh, it's so sweet that you're floating your corpse. It's like so sweet.
Thank you.
To be fair, you got one of the only sweet relationships on the show.
Yes, I did. I was very lucky. Yeah.
So.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. Hi.
So the theme of doing better became really strong after season 4. And I'm just wondering if you felt that your characters had a scene where they were truly doing better. Not trying, which they tried a lot, had a lot of obstacles, but where they were truly doing better.
In season 6, when Joe Murphy basically wanted them to be immortal and kind of save himself and felt they were in a jam, and Amori battled with it and said, no, I can't do this to, you know, our crew. I can't. I think that was her. She was close to being that person, but that's when she put her actions to match where she had been going in her mind.
That was nice too, because it sort of solidified that you are part of the family.
Yeah.
I think I misheard the question given what you just said. Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Is there a scene where you think your character truly did better?
Did better, thank you. Okay, got it. No. It's always so dicey. Can you think of one?
When she was raising Maddie.
Telling Maddie to let go.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Did save Amori.
When she saved Amori in season 4.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, right, cool. Yeah.
I got
Great.
I'll also put this one up to the audience. I mean, like Echo was definitely trying to figure out how to like be, you know, how to fit in by being less ruthless. But like there was in the same time, like when she was trying to find Bellamy, there was Jade, and Jade was one of the guards, and she went back to save her. And she went back to like, you know, help Jade go, you know, not die or with so much pain. But I think like Echo was always trying to figure out how to be better because she was pretty ruthless before, you know? But,
Pretty
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Well, actually, we're out of time. I know you guys save your questions. We have plenty of panels with the rest of them today and tomorrow, but thank you very much. And let's thank the ladies of the 100.
Just wait, guys. Can I take a video of you? If I could take you all, I would. I don't think there's enough room. Okay.